Time to enjoy my 2-year reef tank.
And this is my long overdue 2-year update on the 200-gallon Innovative Marine EXT shallow-ish reef. Now, I know I'm about a month late on it, but crazy things have happened with the family. Kids are sick, I've been sick, going to a bachelor party, then going to a wedding. So yeah, this has kind of been on the back burner for a little bit, trying to take care of all the family issues. But let's get into this and see exactly what the tank is doing. I'm about to give a bunch of corals away to my friend Mike because, you know, I love the dude and my corals are kind of going crazy. So I'm going to get rid of a couple corals, but I need to kind of film it. That way you guys kind of know what is going on with the tank and what it kind of looks like before I kind of destroy a bunch of stuff. Not smart to do it before the 2-year update, but you know, you're running out of space in this tank. So I only turned the T5s on and my UV Lumen Bar, and you can kind of see this is what I'm giving Mike. That giant Montipora cap and most of this. Oh my gosh, that Hollywood Stunner is huge. I mean, they are just giant. I don't know, you can't really see from up here, but that's huge. Alright, so my plan is to kind of rip these out and give the majority of them to Mike. I'll still have a bunch left. And then I might swing over here and give him some of that purple Digi, kind of growing everywhere. Starting to kind of encroach on the other corals. I think that's about it. On maybe a giant Scripps if he really wants. I might snip off a piece here. But yeah, I mean, oh my god, that Scripps has gotten significantly larger. It's nuts right now. I mean, all these corals are just taking off in this tank. I do kind of like this light, especially with that UV, blue UV hybrid popping. It looks good. Alright, so my man Mike is here. He's picking up some of the corals right now. And he's like, Mike, you need to do a top-down view before you just destroy all this.
You do.
So we're going to do a top-down view real quick, and then some of these corals are going to be gone. Alright, so let's start this over because Mike and I were talking about corals and stuff in here. We were saying things. But yeah, so he's getting these giant pieces in the back. That Walt Disney's looking good. Can you tell the difference with that blue UV hybrid? Mm-hmm. I mean,
especially in here, you can.
Yeah.
What was it, a Reef Bright, right?
Reef Breeders.
Reef Breeders, okay.
Yeah. Doing this a month or two before my 2-year update.
And you just put the Reef Breeders in within the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it's actually looking real good. It's doing everything I wanted it to do. Alright, let's start off with Digi Island because it has been absolutely decimated and does not look nearly as good as it did about a month ago because all these Digifrags, all of them have been ripped off of there, especially these guys. I mean, you got big bulldozer here, Dory, knocking over everything and just rummaging through stuff. So Digi Island, not the best, but it's still looking pretty good. A-cans are fat and loving it. And the Blastos are okay, except for this guy right here in the back. I have no idea what's happened to him. Like, half of him is kind of just giving up the ghost, and the other half is still holding on strong. I mean, I've been target feeding them and stuff, but it's just, I can't figure out what's going on with it. The Rasta and Bam Bam Rock looking pretty good, minus the Rastas are kind of ticked off. I don't know why they've been kind of ticked off for a while, but they kind of have been. Dragon Sulfavia, my favorite coral, one of my favorite corals, doing amazing. Cali Tortoise taken over. And you got the Walt Disney looking great, some sort of Millie right there doing awesome. I cut back a ton of coral, ton of that Monty has been cut back, and the Hollywood Stunner behind. All those corals, the Monty and the Hollywood Stunner, were touching the back glass, and I just kind of ripped it all off. And then when I did that, I decided to kind of rip off all the coral and algae on the back glass because it was just like layered on top of layers of coral and algae. Strawberry Shortcake, always looking good. Getting some nice pulp extension there. It's really liking the higher par with that Reef Breeders Lumen Bar on the back, the blue UV hybrid. The green Slimer doing awesome, especially after I took off this giant piece there. And then we're going over to the bird's nest. Yeah, it's kind of getting choked out. This Scripps is absolutely massive. I'm actually just using it as a frag rack holder in the back, but I've cut half of that thing off in the last 2 months. You can kind of see how I cut a chunk in the middle because it was encroaching on my Garf bonsai, and it's still just so big. I don't know what to do with it. I think Mike's gonna have to come over and get some more of it. Garf bonsai is looking pretty good after I kind of combated all that encroaching SPS kind of growing up everywhere. This is a pink Cadillac that's doing really well. Some other corals, smaller corals in the back that are doing pretty okay. That Shades of Fall that's getting photobombed. It's slowly getting there. I think I need to hit it with more flow. The Octospawn's doing great. The Hammer's doing awesome. I need to get rid of some of these red geos. They are just taking over. And of course I got a little cyano in the back. I think it's mostly due to lack of flow over here because I only have one power head here, and the gyre is on the other side of the tank with the other power head. So maybe I'll be upgrading the flow again. I don't know. I'm always messing with the flow or something. I don't think I've ever seen an acan that, or sorry, Micromusa Lord Hoensis, that fat and fluffy. I mean, just look at it pulsing in the flow. It's doing wonders. The Scully's doing great. The Fabia is doing great. I mean, look at that flow. I got it dialed in. I love how it just kind of sways back and forth in the current with this giant Duncan. I fragged so much of this Duncan, you can't even tell how much I fragged. I think I fragged 60 heads off of it. And it's kind of encroaching in the back here. I just have like way too many acros too close together. I kind of need to spread them out. Goniapora is doing great. Got a couple mismatched corals on the ground. The Lobo's doing all right. Had to add some bumblebee snails because if you can see on those rocks, I do have some Vermitids. Now, I think I got the Vermitids from a coral that I kind of traded. I kind of trusted the guy, and I dipped him and everything, expected him, but I should have quarantined the coral, and I didn't, and I'm kind of paying the consequences. So I dipped him a couple times, and I put him on this back frag rack up here, and I don't know, you can see how it's kind of white. Well, I found that that was ground zero for all the Vermitids, and I must have grabbed like 40 Vermitid snails off of that frag rack. And, you know, it was just really depressing because it was on one of the frags that I had up there. So what I did was just kind of nuked that whole frag rack, took all the corals off, picked every little Vermitid off that was on the bottom of it, and hopefully, you know, I got most of the Vermitids off of that. But the damage is done and they're now in the tank. So we got some bumblebee snails in the tank, and hopefully they will keep them down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to just kind of hit the rocks every once in a while, knock some of these puppies off. You know, anytime I'm seeing them kind of like down in here, you can kind of see they're right there, I'm going to just be knocking them off. So other than that one little setback, not too bad. The only thing I have to complain about is that I really need to get a new dosing system going on because, oh my gosh, I just noticed this from the side angle. Check that out. Alright, so look at that red Digi. It is going up and surrounding that green Digi, just like encasing it. That is crazy. Alright, let's get back to my train of thought, but oh my god, that red Digi is just competing with it. That's nuts. Alright, so my 5-gallon jugs, I am at the very end of what I am able to dose for calcium alkalinity with 2-par today. I'm dosing 120 milliliters, and I'm supplementing it with some calc wasser that I'm kind of dripping in with a calc drip. But it's just not keeping up. I'm at 120 milliliters. I'm at about 390 calcium and like 7 alk, so I'm really wanting to get my calcster online. And once it's online, I'm going to be pulling out of that ATO, pushing it through the calcster and dripping into the tank, into the sump area, and I'm going to add a little power head and kick it up for some flow, and hopefully that'll help with some of the calcium alkalinity consumption, because my consumption is going through the roof right now. I can't believe it. I think I could contribute some of the calcium alkalinity intake to adding more light to the system, adding that Lumen Bar, the Reef Breeders blue UV hybrid Lumen Bar to the system. It definitely added a lot more par on the back, and that scripts is just, I mean, look at all the new growth tips on that scripts. If I zoom in, look at all that, all the white at the tips where it's just taken off. It's loving this. I mean, that's insane to me how much it's grown. If only the Walt Disney would grow that fast. I mean, I would be super happy. But I have tons of frags of it in the back, so I'm pretty happy with that. Can't find any buyers for it at the moment. Now, this isn't how the tank would look if I left everything the way it was when I first put everything into the tank, because I did take out a huge stylo. I took out tons of scripts. I took out a bunch of digis, fragged some of the Duncan, and fragged some of the hammer and a little bit of the octo spawn. And some of the toadstool has been fragged too. I've been doing a lot of fragging recently because I'm getting kind of a coral warfare going on and everything's starting to touch each other, and ooh, it's getting a little nuts. So I've added a couple things, taken a couple things away. I know the tank would be looking more full if, you know, I left things be, but sometimes you gotta kind of be proactive and prune everything and bonsai it to make it the best it can possibly be. So let's get a shot of the tank at night. So guys, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. Give me a like, give me a comment below. Let me know how you like this content. And if you like me filming at night when it's just straight up actinics, it's popping real hot right now. All right guys, as always, I will see you next time.